Okay, so what is Logic Pro X? First of all, let's address this name, Logic Pro X, because I'm probably going to start calling it Logic. Um, this is a program that was called Logic for years and years and years and years, and then eventually there was a light version of it called, like, it might have been called Logic Lite or Logic Intro or something like that. So then they had to separate it and have one called Logic Lite and one called Logic Pro. I think it was Logic Studio. Maybe that's what it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's gone now. So we have Logic Pro. Uh, and then a couple years ago, there was a big kind of reboot of it where they kind of redid a lot of how it works, and then it got the X. So Logic Pro X. Logic started off um, as a program owned by another company that Apple bought. So it wasn't a Mac only program back then, I don't think. But once Apple bought it, they, of course, made it Apple only. So it would only run on a Mac. So it's owned by Apple and it's maintained by Apple, and they maintain it pretty well. Um, if you've worked with GarageBand before, that's kind of what the Logic Studio or Logic Lite became. So you'll find a lot of similarities between GarageBand and Logic because really the way it works now is Logic Pro is an advanced version of GarageBand. It's GarageBand Pro is what it kind of should be called. But because it was inherited from this other company, it's called Logic Pro. Um, so I am probably going to call it Logic. So let's just get used to calling it Logic. Now, what is it? It is a professional DAW application. That's DAW. That stands for Digital Audio Workstation. What that means is that it is a platform for us to arrange and manipulate audio, sound. Let's just say sound, because audio is a bit of a confusing term because there's two different kinds of sound that we can work with in Logic and in just about any of the DAW applications. There are others. And that is audio and MIDI. MIDI gets converted into sound. We'll talk about how MIDI works shortly. Don't worry. We'll cover it in this class. But what it means is, so I've just loaded up here one of the default electronic tracks in Logic. So they start you off with a beat and then you can create stuff. So this is what it sounds like right out of the box. Okay, so what we're seeing here are waveforms. And you can kind of hear what they're doing, right? You can hear that these little ticks here are quiet. These are louder. These bigger ones, right? Right, so I can move stuff around. I can put a gap here. There's going to be a space there if I do that. I can overlap these to happen at the same time, although that turns it into a MIDI track, which is something we'll talk about soon. I can add effects to this. I can change the way it sounds. I can make it slower. I can make it faster. I can make it sound like it's in a cave. I can do all kinds of different stuff. And that's what any of the DAW programs do, the digital audio workstation programs. They let you move things around in time, arrange, and manipulate sound. So Logic is used for a lot of applications. I see a lot of film people working with Logic, and there's a good reason for that. I see people that work in gaming working in Logic a little bit. And I see a lot of just electronic producers working in Logic a bit. It kind of goes across the board. So in the next video, I want to talk quickly about some of the other DAW applications and what kind of sets Logic apart. So let's jump to that now.
So let's say that you don't even have Logic Pro 10 installed on your system right now. If you don't know where to start, I will show you the step-by-step instructions on how to get Logic and install it the proper way. But before that, there are some requirements that you need to know about. First, you need to use a Mac computer that runs Mac OS 10.12, or at least 10.12, which is the version called Sierra, by the way. I always recommend you to use the latest operating system for Mac that is available to the public right now, as well as looking for the latest update of Logic, which, if it is available, you will find it in the update section of App Store. This way, we are making sure that we use the latest security measures that Apple works very hard for us, so we won't get into any troubles. Logic is compatible with the older Macs as well as the new ones. So if you have a MacBook Pro from, let's say, 2008 and it supports macOS 10.12 or later, then you will be good to go. Of course, Logic Pro 10 updates itself a lot nowadays, and therefore this information can get outdated anytime. I still recommend you to use the latest version of macOS and the latest version of Logic Pro 10 at any time. If you see that you can't download Logic from the App Store, then you either need to upgrade your macOS or your computer is too old for running the latest macOS and therefore will not run Logic Pro 10 at this time. You can check what macOS your computer is running on if you go to the Apple icon right here, then about this Mac, and this dialog box here is popping up. And as you can see, I'm running the latest version of now, which is version 10.13.3, and it's called macOS High Sierra. So my computer is good to go. As you can see, it's from late 2013, so this course is recorded in 2018, so my computer is already, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 years old. So I think you can use a computer from around 2008 or later for the latest version of Logic Pro 10 that is available right now. You also need to make sure that your processor is 64-bit and not 32-bit. If you have a Mac that is an Intel Core Solo or Intel Core Duo, and these processors are very old now, then your computer will most definitely not run Logic. If you have all other processors, including Intel Core 2 Duo, which also is very old, then you will be good to go. You actually don't have to worry about this if your Mac is from around 2010 or later. So just to be clear here, to purchase Logic Pro 10, the only thing we need to do is to go to the App Store and buy it with a credit card. we don't have to purchase any physical product. So we don't have to go to the Apple Store or any other store to purchase a Logic Pro 10 box or a CD or something like that. And by the way, there's no Apple software with physical discs available anymore. Mac does not even have optical CD or DVD drives anymore. And let's be honest here, purchasing software directly from the App Store is a lot more convenient. So how do we purchase Logic from the App Store? Let's search for the App Store by pressing Command and Spacebar. This is my best method for opening up any apps on my Mac. You may go to the application menu or somewhere else, but I love to use the Spotlight search. And you open it up and close it by Command Spacebar. So let's write in App Store, pressing Enter to open it up. So as you can see, here we have all of the recommended apps right now from the App Store. So let's go to this little search box here and write in Logic Pro and press Enter. There we have it. The first result here is Logic Pro 10. So let's click on the icon here. So the product information says Logic Pro 10 is the most advanced version of Logic ever. Sophisticated tools for professional songwriting, editing, and mixing are built around a modern interface that's designed to get creative results quickly and also deliver more power whenever it's needed. Logic Pro 10 includes a massive collection of instruments, effects, and loops, providing a complete toolkit to create amazing sounding music. And you can get more information by clicking on this More here. So now we have every or all the information that Apple says about Logic Pro 10 at this time. And here we have a little more information about when Logic is updated, what price it's at, how large the software is, and it's actually saying it's around 1.46 gigabytes. But in reality, Logic is a lot bigger in size when you start to install the sounds and presets that it comes bundled with. You can also see if it allows you to use it on multiple computers in your family. And you really need to set that up with your iCloud account. So if you go to settings, go to iCloud, then you can set up a family and you can share this software with anyone from that family that you create. And it also shows what languages Logic is available in. And a bit down in this section, we also see compatibility. And this is just what Mac OS Logic will run on at this time. So as you can see, as I said before, Mac OS 10.12 or later. And I also talked about the processors, the 64-bit versus 32-bit processors. And if you were a little bit confused whatever processor you need to have, just click on this link here and you will get a more described list from Apple itself. So as you can see, it's only two kind of processors with Intel that doesn't work with Logic. Now when you have decided to purchase Logic Pro 10, let's go to the upper section of the App Store and click on the amount which says $199. So if we click on this one, that will tell us to buy app. And your card on file will be charged that amount if you press that button again. When you created your iTunes account, you most definitely put your credit card information. So that is what Apple is going to use when you purchase software from App Store and Logic Pro 10, of course. If not, a window will pop up letting you know that you have to add a credit card on file and also an option to do so. When this is done and when you bought the app, the downloading of Logic Pro 10 is starting. Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to create online backups of your digital audio workstation. So I always recommend everyone that uses a digital audio workstation such as Logic, Ableton, FL Studio or Cubase for instance, that they own an external hard drive and always back up their data to that external hard drive. But what I will do is to have an external hard drive and also have an online backup solution. And there is a very nice backup solution out there that's called Backblaze. And Backblaze is a very cheap solution that backs up all of your files on your internal hard drive on your computer and also all external hard drive that you connected to your computer. And also USB drives, and let's say that you have a lot of different external hard drives. All of that will be backed up for a flat rate of just $5 a month. But I will show you a link and a coupon code where you can use Backblaze for a month for free, so you can just try it out and see how it works for you. So let's say that your computer gets lost, or your external hard drive gets lost, or both of them. Then you don't have any other backup than the external hard drive or the computer itself. So if your computer or external hard drive gets lost, you can always go to Backblaze's website and download all of the files from the internal hard drives and the external hard drives. And therefore you can just get a new computer, or if you, let's say you get a friend's computer and want to start with your files there, all of the files will always be updated in the Backblaze folder that you can find on their website. It's a very secure way to back up files automatically. It's all being done in the background, and their interface is very nice. It supports both Mac and Windows users. So you can see here I'm using Backblaze. It's currently taking an initial backup here because I have a new computer. So it always takes a lot of time, especially if you have a lot of different files on external hard drives. Then your first backup can actually take up to a month to create. But you can speed up this process by going to settings here, and if you go to performance, you can have the automatic threading or throttle enabled. And let's say that you're working on a project on your digital audio workstation and you want the resources to be set to that program, you can always take that off, the automatic threading and throttle, and you can just go to a lower setting here, and that will make the backups being taken even more slow, but you don't put any resources on your computer by doing this backup. You can also select schedule here, and you can do the backup once per day, and that it should start at midnight. So when you go to sleep, it's going to take a backup automatically for you if you have your computer powered on. So that is very nice to use. I really recommend you to get Backblaze. And if you want the free month of Backblaze, you just go to music-prod.com/Backblaze. And here you can sign up for the free month. So if you create your account, you just have to put your email and password there, and then you will download the application. And after that month is done, you can enable the $5 a month. And the free trial works exactly like if you have been paid for a month. So it's the same thing, but you just get a free month. Alright guys, so that is it for this video, and see you in the next lecture.